Now let's get into this pettiness that is going on. It's some sensitive dudes dribbling the basketball right now. According to Shaquille O'Neal, who sends a strong message about sensitive NBA players, says it doesn't matter to me if they get upset. So one of the best rivalries going on in basketball is not happening on the actual basketball court, on the hardwood. Nah, it's between Shaq and Charles Barkley when they get into it. And we already know the beats of that, right? Oh, Chuck, you ain't that good. Oh, man, you're always talking about how good you are, how many championships you are. Well, you can't say nothing about that, so why are you talking? And they just keep going back and forth, right? I love it. Sometimes it gets a little weird because Shaq pulls out that same card and he slams it like his big six every single time. I'm like, damn, Chuck was an all-time great, even though he didn't win a championship. But I hear you bow down to the champ. But then Shaq went and talked about his opinions and whether they're good or bad about the current NBA players. And he said those players have not been fond of all of what he said. So he addressed the sensitive NBA players. He says, look, you know that I've been to the mountaintop. You know that I was sitting on the mountaintop for a long time. So taking this criticism, why don't you take it as information? That's a great point. These guys, they get very, very sensitive. Oh, he doubled down on the very, but I don't take it to heart. Doesn't bother me whether they get sensitive or not. I'm out there doing my job. I'm just giving my opinion. Okay, now, it sounds like he's hiding behind doing his job, but he's not. His job is to go up there on platform with experience to talk about the current status of the NBA and its players. So that's going to come with the good and the bad. Not mad at Shaq right there. Let's continue with his comments. He said, my opinion is based on fact. The fact that you know about when it comes to winning championships, I can give you factual information. When it comes to being the best player in the league, I give you factual information. When it comes to being MVP, I give you factual information. Bump that talk, Shaq. When it comes to being a franchise player, I can give you factual information. A lot of people can't, but I can. A lot of the time, when I criticize them, they get upset. It doesn't matter to me if they get upset. I can care less if they get upset. All right, we heard you. They know, and the whole world know I have a G14 classification to talk about certain things. Wow. Now, can't lie. Everything he said was factually correct. In all seriousness, Shaq is speaking from not only experience, but process, trial, error, success, and from the fact that he had to go through that same process. He talks about how Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when he first got to the Lakers, people forget this about when Shaq first got to the Lakers. They didn't win championships. Took a few years for him to get those championships. Kareem was at his neck. Kareem was at his head saying, hey, he's good, but if he were great, he'd be winning championships. Remember that? So he said he went through the process and took his lumps as well. Why can't these sensitive players take it as well? Now, Kevin Durant chimed in on this before, and we had him say, look, them old heads need to go and enjoy retirement. These boys have coaches they work with every day, LOL. And LeBron even chimed in talking about this same subject before, saying there's a difference between constructive criticism and soft hating. Preach. I've seen it both ways come my way, mostly the hate. You can hear it in their delivery. Let's talk about the hate, because I know being on that platform, being on that stage before, and I'm not a champion, but I have the experience, it does come off as hate. That was part of the reason I was sitting there feeling a little distant from what I love most, which was just talking the game. I was feeling distant from the fans, feeling distant from the players. Some guys will eye roll you, like, damn, dog, it's all said in love. And then it reminded me, it's just like when you're parenting a child that is doing exactly what you did, whether that's school, whether that's ball. For me, my son playing football, I played football at the highest level. And sometimes I even got to check myself in how I'm talking to him, because I'm talking from experience while he is experiencing it. You get the difference? A full-fledged experience already cemented in its fullness versus somebody who's trying to fill in the blanks. Guess what they want? To experience it, not always hear you come down from a high with all this grand wisdom and how it's going to go or how it is. They're like, maybe there's a turn in this journey you didn't even foresee. Maybe I'm going to do it a little different than you. Maybe it's going to go better for me than it did for you. Maybe it's going to go worse for me, but let me experience it. I always bring people back to this example. Go to Six Flags Magic Mountain, right? You're standing in line. It's the big ride, the new one. Oh, man, I don't know what they're calling the new hydration situation, right? And you like, damn. And you get to the line, it says 3 hours wait time. And you look at your girl, you look at the kids, you're like, we going to do it. We going to put in the work because it's the one we all want to get on. So you're standing in line. And like everybody, you get tired of seeing the same damn person going across you. And then you come right back, you got to see the same damn person. And the first couple of times you make small talk. But about the fourth, fifth time, you're like, dog, I'm tired of talking to this dude. I don't even know this dude. And then they chiming in with the jokes. Their kids are swinging on the little bar. It's just getting annoying, right? And you still got 2 hours left. And then you start to turn your attention to the people getting off the ride, right? Like what they look like. Are they pumped? Do they act like this was the best ride ever? And then, you see smiles. You see people like high-fiving. You see people like, damn, that was crazy. Then you see some people like just normal, like whatever. And then what if one person walked up to you and said, man, let me tell you all about that ride from beginning to end. And then after that said, I wouldn't stand in line if I were you. I wouldn't even get on it. What would you do? I know what I would do. First of all, I wouldn't even be listening to him in the fullness. I'd be like, yeah, okay. I'm still standing in the line. Second of all, I would never, ever think about hijacking my experience, hijacking my opportunity from based on what you said in fullness. I think there's some parallels there, right? That's how these kids, these youngsters, the next generation hear us. And we come off like that. But it was all done, all said, me talking to MJ, in love. Ain't that crazy how the game goes? So are today's NBA players too sensitive? That's a question for you guys. Also, do you think analysts like Shaq, Barkley, whoever it may be, are hating more in their comments than giving constructive criticism? Are they hating, soft hating, as LeBron said it, or are they really saying it with love?